Welcome to Fuel Your Drive.
Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Fuel Your Drive. I am your host, Josh York. Let's get rocking and rolling. We have an incredible episode in store for you today. My apologies last week. I was unable to get an episode out. A lot going on, busy, had some travel, but I'm back and let's get into it. So before we start, as you know, please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. I want to continue to keep growing this podcast and I cannot do it without you. And again, I want to thank you one more time. Thank all you guys. We're in the top 200 of the best podcasts in the world. I was blown away when I saw that. So thank you. It's a super exciting thing. And with that said, let's get into it. So everyone always compliments me on my ability to be resilient and my mindset. So I thought it'd be great to do an episode on tricks that I use to push through difficult situations. Okay. And I picked a couple different situations that I want to talk through. So this is going to top of the list is going to be cash flow. Every business will suffer with cash flow issues at some point in their growth. That is a fact. That's when you need to either bring in money, whether it's debt, whether it's equity, whatever that may be. But at some point, you're going to deal with it. And let me tell you something. Even as you grow and you even scale and you get larger and larger, there may be a point due to some type of issue where you struggle with cash flow. Here's the deal. This too shall pass. You have to be calm and you have to doggy paddle through it. Now, how can you get help from, let's say, partners, vendors that you're working with? Because I think this is very important. Now, listen, I have been doing this a very long time, and I will tell you, when you build great relationships, all you need to really do is pick up a phone. Pick up a phone, make the call, and ask for help, okay? Now, that could be with a bank. That can be with a vendor that you might get marketing material with. Now, some tricks of things you can do is when you initially build relationships, you can get terms. Okay. So what are terms? Well, some bills have to be paid right away, maybe within a day, 3 days. Some bills have to be paid net 30. So that's 30 days. You could do net 60, net 90. Now, let's say you're with a vendor for a long period of time and that vendor has always given you net 30. You call up, hey, Joe, how are you? It's Josh. Listen, we're having a little bit of an issue. Something happened here. I need to get net 90 for the next 3 months. I promise you they'll do it, okay? And you're not the only one who's asked for these things, but you got to ask. If you don't ask, you won't get that support. I remember in the early days, I took out a line with a bank, and I was in a very, very, very tough cash crunch. And I literally reached out to the bank person who I had a great relationship with, and I asked them if they can defer the payments for 6 months. You know what? I ended up getting them deferred for 8 months, and that really helped me out. So there's always ways to work things out. What happens is people get nervous, people fold, and people quit and say, I can't do this anymore. So number one, take a deep breath, right? Deep breath in, deep breath out, and relax and try to remain calm. You're alive. Nothing's going to happen. Everything is okay. But you have to tell yourself that. It's very important. Now, in the beginning, and especially if you're new to business, this can be very dramatic. This can be very scary. You can get nervous. You could say, I don't know what to do. That feeling will pass over time as you develop. This is a skill, right? This is a skill that you have to develop because it's not easy getting that type of news like, oh my God, cash is tight. That feeling like it goes through your body. You get that anxiety in your stomach that goes down to your foot. You feel like you can't breathe. That will get better. That will pass. Everything always passes. This too shall pass. But you have to understand it takes time and you have to develop these skills, okay? That's one example. Another example, okay? Look, I talk about this all the time, okay? There is always a way. There is always a way. And I even speak about this with my franchise owners sometimes when, they might be trying to expand their business and be in a position where they need to bring more money in. Look, there's many ways to get money. You could have good credit. You can get something off, based off your credit score. You can get another 10, 20, 30, 40, $100,000. You can reach out to a bank that you might currently have a loan with and ask them if they can increase the loan. You can get interest-free credit cards and use that just for a period of time to help you, right? So there's plenty of credit cards out there. They could be 12 months, 24 months interest-free, and you're not even going to need that, that amount for that long. So let's say it's 6 months, and then you pay the card down, and you're good, and you're back in the game, right? So you have to think things through. But the last and most important part of this is ask for advice. If you're new in business and you don't have experience, ask someone who's been in business for a long time, because I promise you they've been through it. And obviously they're still here, they're still standing, and they're still successful. So, they obviously made it through, and you're going to make it through too. But if you don't ask for help, you're never going to be able to develop those skills quickly, right? Because here I am telling you this, and if you're listening to this, great, because obviously this is going to be a great amount of nuggets for you to continue to keep growing your business and being successful. But some people might not even know about my podcast and might not be listening to this, because I don't ever really hear people putting out this type of content. And this is the content that's really important, really matters, right? Now, also, in desperate times can be the most amazing, successful breakthrough moments for you, because like when you don't give yourself an option, like the only option is to succeed, that's how it happens. That's how you succeed. But if you give yourself an option where you're like, oh man, okay, well, I guess I got to give up, then you're going to lose, and you're going to quit, and you're never going to be successful. And you're going to just keep rinsing and repeating that cycle over and over again. And I talked about this in an episode a couple of weeks ago, that people who tend to do things like this, like they'll start a job, which can turn into an awesome career, which they can move up the ranks and be very successful with a great organization. They're not happy. Something happens. They quit. They leave. They move on to the next thing. And then they're in that vicious cycle forever. The problem is that's part of the process. And if you don't pay your dues within that part of the process, you're not going to make it. It's funny. I'm not going to share the name of this person. I'm not going to even tell you if they're a male or a female, but it's funny. I remember in a very dark time of Gym Guys, we had someone on board, and this person said to me, I just don't believe in this brand. I'm out. And it hurt us, because they were an important part of the company. They went to a much, much bigger company. Well, that much bigger company wasn't doing so well years later and laid off a lot of people, and that person got laid off. And now Gym Guys was doing really well, and now we were in a much better position at that time. And they came pretty much almost begging back that they wanted to come back. And I refused to bring that person back, because if they can't hang with you during tough times, they're not truly in, right? Because the people who can push through the tough times, the people who have that strong, resilient mindset, that ability to never quit, that ability to say, we're going to get this done, we're going to make it work, this is what we do, we're number one, and have that attitude, those are the ones you're going to win with. And those are the ones that you want to reward when you do achieve the pinnacle level of success. So look, hopefully this was helpful, guys. I like to keep these episodes short and sweet. I don't want to go on too long. Just want to provide you some great information that you can leave here, put in your pocket, put in your tool chest, have it and use it. So guys, until next time, remember, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, fuel your drive. See ya.
Legend. Legend.